Comfort feels safe. But comfort is killing your potential. Every dream you have, every goal you imagine is on the other side of discomfort. And until you are willing to step out of your warm, safe, comfortable zone, you will never discover who you truly are. Comfort is not your friend. It is your biggest enemy. If you really want to change your life, the first step is simple: destroy your comfort. Comfort is one of the most dangerous things in life because it disguises itself as happiness. It feels soft, warm, and safe, but it silently robs you of the urgency to grow. Comfort whispers in your ear, telling you that you can take it easy, that you can postpone your dreams until tomorrow, that you can slow down just a little because you have already done enough. And that whisper feels good, so you listen. And slowly, without even noticing, you stop pushing yourself. You stop demanding more from your mind and your body. You stop asking the hard questions about who you want to become and what kind of life you want to live. Comfort doesn't just keep you where you are, it slowly pulls you backward, because while you are sitting still, the world keeps moving forward. The truth is that every time you choose comfort over challenge, you are making a trade. You are trading long-term progress for short-term ease. You are trading growth for stagnation. You are trading your future self's happiness for a moment of relief right now. People love to say that comfort zones are safe zones, but they are not. They are danger zones because when you stay inside them for too long, you forget what you are capable of. You stop testing your limits. You stop discovering your potential. Think about it. When was the last time you did something that scared you, that stretched you, that made you uncomfortable? Those moments are the moments that shape you. The promotion you got didn't come from staying comfortable. It came from taking on extra responsibility, learning new skills, doing more than was required. The relationships that mean the most to you didn't grow from comfort. They grew from vulnerability, from honest conversations, from being willing to risk rejection or misunderstanding to build something meaningful. Every breakthrough in your life has been born out of discomfort, not out of sitting on the sidelines waiting for the perfect time. Comfort convinces you that you have time, and that is the most dangerous lie of all. It tells you that you can start tomorrow, that next month will be better, that one day you will finally have the courage to go after what you want. But one day becomes 1 year, and 1 year becomes 5, and before you know it, you are stuck in the same place, only older and with fewer options. Comfort steals your urgency. It numbs you, making you think you are okay with a life that deep down you know is not what you were meant to live. And here is the worst part: comfort never satisfies you for long. Humans are wired for growth, progress, and contribution. When you deny yourself the challenge that leads to growth, you feel restless. You feel bored. You feel like something is missing, because something is missing. The discomfort you are avoiding is the very path that leads to fulfillment. Comfort might protect you from pain, but it also protects you from joy, from purpose, from meaning. You cannot have one without risking the other. Comfort also kills your resilience. When life inevitably throws challenges your way, and it always will, you are unprepared because you have spent too much time avoiding difficulty. You are soft, not because you are weak, but because you have trained yourself to run from anything that makes you stretch. But the world doesn't care about your comfort. The market doesn't care about your comfort. Life will test you whether you like it or not, and if you are not ready, you will break instead of bend. The people who achieve extraordinary things are not necessarily the most talented or the most intelligent. They are the ones who are willing to be uncomfortable the longest. They are willing to work when they are tired, to try when they are scared, to keep going when everyone else has quit. They understand that comfort is a trap, and they refuse to stay in it for too long. If comfort is a trap, then pain is the teacher that frees you. Pain is life's way of forcing you to grow, and yet most people spend their entire lives trying to avoid it. We have been taught to think pain is bad, that struggle is something to escape, that hardship is something unfair. But pain is not the enemy. Pain is the very thing that makes you stronger, wiser, and more capable. Think of every person you admire, every leader, every innovator, every champion. Their strength was not handed to them, it was forged in fire. It was built through late nights, through rejection, through loss, through the moments that made them question everything and still choose to get up one more time. Pain has a strange way of showing us who we really are. When everything is easy, you don't really know yourself. When everything goes according to plan, you can live with a false sense of confidence. But when the storm hits, when the plan fails, when everything feels like it's falling apart, that is when the real you comes out. Pain strips away the masks you wear, the excuses you make, and it leaves you with a choice. You can either break or you can rise. And the more you choose to rise, the stronger you become. You cannot build strength in a life without struggle. Just like a muscle cannot grow unless it is torn and rebuilt, your character cannot grow without being challenged. Every difficult situation, every obstacle, every heartbreak is like weight on the bar of your life. You can either avoid lifting it and stay weak, or you can step under it, push against it, and let it transform you. The heavier the weight, the stronger you become. The most powerful people you know are not the ones who had an easy life. They are the ones who turned their pain into power. They used every scar as a reminder of how far they've come. They used every setback as motivation to keep going. They refused to let pain be the final word, and instead they made pain the reason they became unstoppable. You have that same choice. You can let pain define you, or you can let it refine you. Pain is also a signal. It points you toward the areas in your life that need attention. If you feel pain because you are broke, that is a signal to learn, to work, to change how you think about money. If you feel pain because your health is failing, that is a signal to start moving, to eat better, to respect your body. If you feel pain because your relationships are falling apart, that is a signal to communicate, to forgive, to do the hard emotional work that will make you whole. Pain is a messenger, and ignoring it does not make it go away. It only makes it louder. And while pain is never pleasant, it is always productive when you choose to learn from it. There is a strange kind of gratitude that comes after a painful season when you look back and realize it was shaping you the entire time. The heartbreak that taught you resilience, the failure that taught you humility, the rejection that taught you patience, the losses that taught you what really matters. Pain is a teacher that doesn't speak softly, but its lessons last forever. When you start to see pain as your ally instead of your enemy, everything in your life shifts. Suddenly, challenges become opportunities. Struggles become stepping stones. Setbacks become setups. You stop running from difficulty and start leaning into it because you know it is making you better. And when that happens, you stop fearing pain. You start using it as fuel. Fear is one of the most misunderstood emotions we have. Most people treat fear as a wall, something to stop at, something to avoid, something to run from. But fear is not a wall, it is a doorway. It is the gatekeeper standing between you and the life you say you want. Fear is not there to block you forever. It is there to test you, to see if you are willing to pay the price of growth. Every dream you have, every goal you write down, every vision you imagine lives on the other side of fear. And until you are willing to face it, you will never touch the life that is meant for you. Fear shows up at the exact moments that matter most. When you are about to start the business you've been thinking about, fear whispers, what if you fail? What if you lose everything? When you are about to speak your truth, fear says, what if they laugh at you? What if they reject you? When you are about to take a leap into something new, fear fills your mind with worst-case scenarios until you convince yourself it's safer to do nothing. Fear is not random. It is strategic. It attacks at the doorway of every breakthrough. But here's what you must understand. Fear is not there to harm you. Fear is there to guide you. Fear is a compass pointing to the very areas where you have room to grow. If you are afraid of speaking in public, that is a signal that building that skill could change your life. If you are afraid of taking a risk, that is a sign that you are standing on the edge of something that could transform your future. Fear always shows you where the treasure is buried. The problem is that most people see fear and turn around, not realizing that they are walking away from the exact thing they need to move to the next level. Fear is also a test of commitment. Everybody says they want success, freedom, happiness. But when fear shows up, most people back down. Fear separates the interested from the committed. If you are only interested in growth, fear will make you quit. But if you are committed, fear will make you fight harder. And once you push through it, once you take action despite the shaking hands and the racing heart, something incredible happens. The fear loses its power. You realize it was mostly an illusion, a story in your mind, and now that you've faced it, you are stronger, braver, and ready for the next challenge. And it's not that fear ever fully disappears. Even the most successful people you admire feel fear. They have just trained themselves to walk through it. They have built a relationship with fear where it no longer paralyzes them. They use it as fuel, as proof that they are moving in the right direction. The truth is, if you are not afraid of anything right now, it probably means you are not doing anything meaningful. A life without fear is usually a life without growth. Fear is a sign that you are standing on the edge of transformation. You can stay where you are and feel safe, or you can step forward and claim what is waiting for you. Fear will not go away on its own. You must face it. You must act despite it. And in doing so, you will discover that the monster you imagined guarding the door was never as big as it seemed. Failure is one of the most feared experiences in life, yet it is also one of the most valuable. Most people spend their entire lives running from failure, as if it is a monster waiting to destroy them. But failure is not a monster. It is a mentor. It is not there to humiliate you. It is there to educate you. The truth is that failure is not the opposite of success. It is the process of success. Every great achievement, every breakthrough invention, every inspiring story of victory was built on a foundation of failures that most people never see. Failure has a way of humbling you, of breaking down your ego, of reminding you that you are still a student in the classroom of life. And that is a good thing, because when you think you know everything, you stop growing. When you believe you are too good to make mistakes, you stop learning. Failure tears down the illusion of perfection and forces you to get real about who you are, what you know, and how much more you need to grow. That is not something to fear. That is something to embrace. Think about the people you admire most. The successful entrepreneur who built a thriving business probably failed 3, 4, or 5 times before they got it right. The athlete who stands on the podium holding a gold medal probably lost dozens of matches and competitions before they learned how to win. The artist whose work moves the world probably has a pile of rejected ideas, abandoned projects, and painful criticism that nobody ever saw. Failure is the tuition you pay for greatness. You cannot bypass it. You cannot cheat it. You must go through it. The most painful failures often teach the most important lessons. The job you lost might have taught you resilience, forcing you to reinvent yourself and discover strengths you never knew you had. The relationship that fell apart might have taught you how to communicate better, how to respect yourself, how to recognize what you truly deserve. The business idea that collapsed might have taught you about patience, planning, and persistence. These lessons are not fun to learn, but they are priceless, and they stay with you far longer than the sting of the failure itself. Failure also reveals who you are. When everything goes wrong, you see your true character. Do you give up, blame others, and walk away? Or do you dust yourself off, analyze what went wrong, and try again? Failure separates those who are just interested from those who are truly committed. Anyone can stay excited when things are working, but when nothing works, when the results are disappointing, when it feels like the world is against you, that is where greatness is forged. The beautiful thing about failure is that it makes success meaningful. If you succeeded at everything on the first try, you would never appreciate it. The taste of victory is sweeter because of the bitterness of defeat. Failure keeps you humble, keeps you hungry, keeps you grounded. It reminds you that you are human and that growth is a process. And perhaps the most powerful lesson failure teaches is this: it is never final. Failure feels like the end, but it is almost always the beginning of a new version of you. A wiser, stronger, sharper version. Each time you fail, you gain knowledge, you gain clarity, you gain tools that make the next attempt better. The only real failure is refusing to try again. Everything else is simply feedback, guiding you toward the path that will work. Motivation is beautiful, but it is not enough. Motivation is like a spark. It can ignite the fire, but it cannot keep it burning on its own. Motivation feels good when you have it, but what happens on the days when you wake up tired, when you feel uninspired, when life knocks you down and you don't feel like doing anything? If you depend only on motivation, those days will stop your progress completely. This is where discipline comes in. Discipline is what carries you when motivation runs out. It is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be, and it is the reason some people succeed while others quit. Discipline is not about feeling good. It is about doing what is necessary whether you feel like it or not. It is about getting up early when the bed feels warm, going to the gym when every muscle tells you to stay home, making that extra call when your mind says you've already done enough. Discipline is the habit of showing up consistently, no matter what, and the more you practice discipline, the stronger it becomes. It's like building a muscle. The more you train it, the more powerful it gets. Motivation is emotional, but discipline is a decision. Motivation says, I feel like working hard today. Discipline says, I work hard no matter how I feel. That difference is what separates the dreamers from the doers. You might be motivated for a week, a month, maybe even a few months. But when life gets uncomfortable, and it always does, discipline is what keeps you moving forward. It doesn't negotiate with your emotions. It doesn't take the day off just because things got tough. Discipline becomes a silent agreement you make with yourself to follow through on your commitments, regardless of circumstances. Think about the most successful people you know. They don't rely on feeling motivated to take action. They have systems, habits, and routines that force progress even on their worst days. They have trained themselves to do the work when they are tired, when they are busy, when they are discouraged. That consistency compounds over time, and soon they are far ahead of the people who only worked hard when they felt inspired. Discipline also builds trust with yourself. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, waking up when you said you would, sticking to the plan you made, following through even when it's uncomfortable, you build self-respect. You start to see yourself as someone who follows through, someone who can be trusted, someone who finishes what they start. And that belief in yourself becomes unshakable. You no longer wait for motivation because you know you are capable of taking action regardless of mood. Discipline turns ordinary days into productive days, and productive days into extraordinary results. When you act with discipline, you remove the endless decision making that drains your energy. You don't wake up wondering, should I work out today? Or should I focus on my goals? The answer is always yes, because discipline has already decided for you. This mental clarity allows you to focus all your energy on execution instead of wrestling with indecision. And here is the powerful truth: discipline creates motivation. When you take action, even when you don't feel like it, momentum starts to build. Small wins turn into confidence, confidence turns into pride, and pride fuels more motivation. But it starts with discipline, with taking the first step before you feel ready, with acting when your mind is screaming for comfort. Every dream you carry, every goal you want to achieve, every future you imagine for yourself comes with a price. That price is almost always your comfort. You cannot have a big vision for your life and also live inside the small, safe circle of convenience. Vision demands sacrifice. It demands you give up certain habits, certain excuses, certain temporary pleasures in order to build something bigger and better. If you are serious about changing your life, you must be willing to trade the life you have now for the life you want later. And that trade is never easy. Comfort feels good right now, but it does not build the future you want. Your vision will often require you to stay up late when others are sleeping, wake up early when others are still dreaming, say no to distractions when everyone else is saying yes. You may have to sacrifice parties, endless scrolling on your phone, pointless gossip, and mindless entertainment so that you can use those hours to create, to learn, to grow. At first, this will feel painful. It will feel like you are missing out, but what you are really doing is building the foundation for a future where you no longer feel trapped by circumstances. Sacrifice also means being willing to face the criticism that comes when you choose a path different from the crowd. People might not understand why you work so hard, why you refuse to settle, why you keep chasing something they cannot see. But that is because your vision was given to you, not to them. You are the one who sees it. You are the one responsible for it. Do not expect others to carry your dream. They cannot. This is why you must be willing to sacrifice not just comfort, but also approval, if necessary, to stay loyal to the future you are building. Think about anyone who has built something great. The musician who becomes a legend spent countless hours practicing scales alone, while friends were out having fun. The athlete who becomes a champion gave up comfort again and again. The comfort of staying in bed, the comfort of eating whatever they wanted, the comfort of giving less than 100%. The entrepreneur who builds a successful company went through years of sleepless nights, financial stress, and endless uncertainty before the breakthrough came. Greatness always requires a season of sacrifice before the harvest arrives. And the beauty of sacrifice is that it multiplies. Every time you give something up for your vision, you gain something far more valuable in return. Growth, skill, clarity, confidence. You prove to yourself that your dream matters more than your excuses, and that changes the way you see yourself. You no longer feel like a victim of circumstances. You feel like the author of your own story. Sacrificing comfort is not about punishing yourself. It is about positioning yourself. It is about putting yourself in an environment where growth is unavoidable. It is about creating the conditions where success becomes the natural outcome of your daily actions. When you sacrifice for your vision, you are not losing anything. You are planting seeds for a future that will be far richer than anything comfort could have given you. One of the greatest skills you can ever develop in life is the ability to delay gratification, to value the reward that comes tomorrow over the comfort that comes today. Most people never build the life they truly want because they are too focused on the pleasure of the present moment. They choose what feels good now rather than what will feel great later. They eat what satisfies them in the next 5 minutes rather than what nourishes them in the next 5 years. They spend money to look successful today instead of investing money to actually become successful tomorrow. They take shortcuts, chase instant wins, and expect overnight results. But nothing truly great has ever been built overnight. The future belongs to the ones who are willing to endure short-term pain for long-term gain. It belongs to the student who studies while others are out wasting time, to the dreamer who keeps working when everyone else is taking a break, to the person who keeps saving, building, and investing while others spend without thinking. Every choice you make today is a seed you plant for tomorrow. You can plant seeds of comfort and convenience, or you can plant seeds of discipline, sacrifice, and vision. One day, those seeds will grow into a harvest, and the harvest will reflect the choices you made in the moments nobody was watching. Choosing the future over the present is never easy because your brain is wired for immediate gratification. It wants the dopamine rush, the quick fix, the feeling of relief right now. But the more you train yourself to resist that impulse, the more powerful you become. You start to see temptation for what it really is, a distraction trying to pull you away from your destiny. The dessert might taste good now, but how good will it feel to finally be healthy and strong? The extra hour of sleep might feel amazing right now, but how amazing will it feel to finally achieve the dream that kept you awake at night? The money you spend recklessly might bring you a moment of happiness, but how much more powerful will it feel to build wealth and freedom that lasts a lifetime? This is why delayed gratification is a superpower. It separates the average from the exceptional. The average person lives for Friday night, for payday, for vacations, for quick hits of happiness. The exceptional person lives for legacy, for impact, for the kind of life that cannot be built in a day or a week, but is crafted over years of consistent effort. One day, the pleasure you delayed will become the reward you enjoy every single day, and it will be worth every moment of discomfort you endured to get there. There is something deeply fulfilling about knowing you paid the price early so you could reap the benefits later. It gives you a quiet confidence, a sense of pride that cannot be faked. You walk differently, speak differently, carry yourself differently because you know you earned the life you are living. And that confidence is only possible because, at some point, you decided that the future was worth more than the present. The battle between the future and the present is one of the greatest battles you will ever fight, and it happens silently inside your mind every single day. Every time you are faced with a decision, whether to work or procrastinate, whether to spend or save, whether to study or scroll, whether to chase comfort or chase growth, you are deciding not just for this moment, but for the person you will be months and years from now. The small decisions compound over time, and they eventually decide whether you live the life you dream about or stay trapped in the life you are trying to escape. The reason most people never experience their full potential is because they keep trading the future for the present. They keep taking from tomorrow to pay for today's pleasure. They eat what they want now and deal with the health consequences later. They avoid the hard work now and deal with regret later. They waste money on things they do not need and then wonder why they are stressed about bills and opportunities slipping away. The truth is that the future always collects the bill. The only question is whether that bill will come in the form of regret or reward. When you begin to think long-term, everything changes. Suddenly, the quick pleasure of staying in bed feels less satisfying when you picture the future where you are still stuck in the same job, earning the same paycheck, wondering why nothing has changed. Suddenly, the quick pleasure of buying something you don't need feels empty when you picture the future where you are broke, drowning in debt, unable to take opportunities because you never prepared for them. Suddenly, the quick pleasure of wasting time scrolling feels hollow when you imagine the future where your dream is still just a dream and someone else has already done what you were too distracted to do. Delaying gratification is difficult because it feels like you are losing something in the moment. You are saying no to sugar, no to entertainment, no to rest, no to distraction, and your mind screams at you, telling you that you are being too hard on yourself. But you are not losing anything, you are investing. You are trading a small pleasure now for a much bigger reward later. You are taking the energy that could be wasted and putting it into something that will pay you back 10 times, 100 times, even 1,000 times more in the future. And the amazing thing is that the more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. At first, it feels like a sacrifice, but eventually it feels like power. You realize that most people are controlled by their impulses, but you are not. Most people are slaves to their cravings, but you are free. Most people are addicted to comfort, but you are addicted to growth. That shift in identity is what allows you to build the kind of life other people only talk about. One day, all the hours you spent working on yourself, all the money you invested wisely, all the moments you chose discipline over distraction will pay off, and it will be clear that it was worth it. The house you live in, the freedom you enjoy, the peace you feel, they will all be the result of you choosing the future over the present again and again. And when that day comes, you will not remember the nights you stayed up working, or the weekends you said no to parties, or the temptations you resisted. You will only remember that you built something extraordinary with your own hands. Every time you choose the future over the present, you are telling yourself a powerful message. My destiny matters more than my distraction. My purpose matters more than my pleasure. My tomorrow matters more than my now. This is how you build a life you are proud of. People often think that success is about one big moment, one breakthrough decision, one lucky chance. But most of the time, success is nothing more than a series of small, daily choices where you choose the hard thing over the easy thing. You choose the book over the endless scrolling. You choose the workout over the excuse. You choose the savings account over the impulse buy. You choose the late night grind over the mindless entertainment. Each of these decisions feels small, almost invisible, but together they create a force that shapes your entire future. The reason delayed gratification feels so difficult is because we live in a world that is designed to make you addicted to the present. Notifications ping your phone every 5 seconds. Companies fight for your attention. Apps are built to keep you scrolling. Fast food is on every corner. Entertainment is just one click away. Everything is screaming at you to indulge right now. The world tells you that happiness is instant, that success is easy, that you can have everything without sacrifice. But that is a lie. True happiness comes from the pride you feel when you have earned what you enjoy. True success comes from the work you did when nobody was watching. And true freedom comes from the discipline to say no to what everyone else says yes to. When you learn to delay gratification, you start to experience a different kind of joy, the joy of control. You no longer feel like a victim of cravings or emotions because you know you can act in spite of them. You start to see time differently, realizing that every hour you invest in yourself today will return to you multiplied tomorrow. That study session turns into a degree. That degree turns into a better career. That career turns into opportunities that can change your family's future. The extra money you save today turns into freedom tomorrow. The difficult choices you make today turn into easier choices tomorrow because your life starts to align with your vision. This is not about rejecting pleasure completely. It is about mastering it. Pleasure is not the problem, the timing is. There is a kind of pleasure that destroys your future because it gives you the reward before you have earned it. And there is a kind of pleasure that builds your future because it rewards you after you have done the work. The first one is cheap and temporary. The second one is deep and lasting. Eating junk food feels good for 10 minutes, but it steals energy for hours. Sleeping in feels good in the morning, but it steals your progress for the day. Spending recklessly feels good right now, but it steals your options for the future. But when you flip that equation, when you work first, save first, move first, learn first, the rewards you receive later are richer, stronger, and far more satisfying than anything you could have gotten instantly. Every time you choose future rewards over present pleasure, you are building momentum. Momentum is powerful because it makes discipline easier over time. The first day you say no to distraction, it feels impossible. The 10th day, it feels natural. The 30th day, it feels like part of who you are. And soon, you no longer have to force yourself to choose the future. You automatically do it because you have become the kind of person who prioritizes growth over comfort. Now, look at your life. Look at the comfort you cling to, the fears that hold you back, the failures you have been avoiding, the shortcuts you have been taking, and the pleasures that distract you from your vision. Everything we have talked about today, destroying comfort, facing pain, moving through fear, learning from failure, building discipline, sacrificing for your vision, and choosing future rewards over present pleasure. All of it points to one undeniable truth. The life you dream of will never come to you by accident. It will never appear while you are waiting, while you are comfortable, while you are afraid to act. That life belongs to those who are willing to do what others are not. You have a choice today. You can continue down the path of ease, of safety, of temporary pleasure, and accept the life that the world gives you. Or you can rise, you can destroy your comfort. You can embrace pain as your teacher, fear as your guide, and failure as your mentor. You can build the discipline to take action when motivation fades, and sacrifice what is easy now for what is extraordinary later. You can choose the rewards that come to those who think long term and act relentlessly. You can step into the life that was meant for you, not the one you are settling for. Remember this: greatness is never born in comfort. Strength is never built in ease. The extraordinary life you desire exists on the other side of difficulty, and it is waiting for the person brave enough to chase it. You have everything you need to start today. All it takes is one decision, one commitment, one refusal to settle, and one step forward, no matter how uncomfortable it feels. So take that step. Destroy the walls that hold you back. Lean into the discomfort, the fear, the challenge. Let every failure teach you, every sacrifice mold you, and every moment of delayed gratification reward you. Build a life that is not defined by limits, but by vision, courage, and relentless action. Your future self is already waiting, and the only thing standing between you and everything you dream of is the choice to act. Choose wisely, choose boldly, and never ever settle.